Hi everybody, Sandy here from Sandi Cooks. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I am going to cook in the InstantPot over here. I'm going to do some barbecued short ribs, pork short ribs, and I will show you that. Statement up front, this is not my recipe. I got this off the internet, not my recipe. Not all that far off of what I might have done myself anyway, but I'm not taking credit for this, but it's really yummy. So come along with me and I'll show you how I do this. Okay, the first ingredient here is just water. 1 cup of plain old tap water. Alright, and that's what's going to create the water, the steam and the pressure in our pressure cooker. Alright, so this calls for, open mic. Okay. Alright, this calls for 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then it calls for, this is liquid smoke, half a teaspoon of liquid smoke. This will give it a nice smoky undertone as if we made this on the grill without having to make it on the grill. And it really doesn't taste particularly fake in that small amount. Alright, now we're going to assemble the dry ingredients for the rub that's going to go on the ribs. So, this is going to be, you can do, this is for 1 rack of ribs, but you can do 2 racks and just double this recipe. So, first thing we're going to do, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. We're going to pack it. Come on. It doesn't come out because I packed it. 2 of these. Okay, then 1 tablespoon of paprika. Again, this is not the hot paprika. This is sweet paprika or your standard paprika. But for this recipe, we are going to actually make it a little bit spicier than some of the other things I've made because my wife doesn't eat baby back ribs. And that means it can be a little bit spicier. Black pepper. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. 1 teaspoon kosher salt. 1 teaspoon chili powder. Chili powder. Teaspoon. Chili powder. Garlic powder. 1 teaspoon. Like I said, this really isn't substantially different from the rub I showed you for making the Cornish hens, or even for the fish, for seasoning the fish tacos. Very similar. This is onion powder. 1 teaspoon of this. And then it calls for 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. There we go. Just gonna mix this. I just use a fork because of that brown sugar, because it breaks it up easier. So once this is mixed, the next step is gonna be opening up my package of ribs, and drying the ribs off, and then there's a membrane. Ah, I spilled. All right, well, it happens. All right, that's good. All right, so next step is going to be working on the ribs themselves. Okay, so I got these ribs at the store, just a rack of baby back ribs. So cut them out of here. The first thing I'm going to do is dry them off because we don't want all this liquid on them. So, and that's because, I don't know why. That's what they say in the cooking shows. Dry off your ribs. I was going to say, normally it's so that you are not steaming whatever it is that you're making when you want to be baking it or roasting it. Alright, next step here is just going to, we got to take the silver skin off this white layer here. So all I'm going to do is tuck a knife in underneath there like that. You saw me pry it up. And now I can get my thumb under there, or both thumbs under there, and kind of peel it up and peel it all the way off. All these ribs. And now your ribs can fall apart, separate, instead of all being held together by that. So the next thing is going to be putting our rub on. We're just going to put a healthy dose of this on. We're not going to save this, so we want to make sure that we get everything covered here. Yes, your belly is a tool. Use it. So I'm just doing this on the sides like this to get coverage on the edges there. You can see that side's completely covered. This side is completely covered. Alright, so next step is going into the InstantPot, and all we're going to do is we're going to put it in a little circle like that. Follow me. And that goes into the InstantPot like that. So now if you have a second set of ribs, you just put them in a circle inside of that. And that's how you do two of them. All right, that's it for now. I'll show you how I continue from here. Okay, so sorry about this moving all over the place. Anyway, I'm going to put this on here. Okay, we're going to do meat stew. 23 minutes is what I use for this. I've tried it longer and I shortened it a few times before I landed on 23 minutes for these ribs. So anyway, that's going to cook for, make sure that's closed. Our valve here back here is closed. So that's going to cook for 23 minutes. It's got to come up to steam, and then it's got to release the steam naturally. So in about, that'll be what, 23, 15, so I don't know, 45 minutes or so. And then I'm going to finish these in the oven with some barbecue sauce. I'll have the oven set at 500, and they'll only go in for a few minutes on each side just to cook the barbecue sauce. And then we'll be ready to eat. And today I think I'm going to serve this with some broccoli or maybe asparagus. I don't know. My son said he didn't want salad tonight, so one of those and maybe some potatoes. We'll see. All right, thank you, and I'll show you what this looks like when we pull it out. Okay, so I'm going to vent this. It's already, all the steam's out, so we're good to go there. Put that in the sink. Take out our ribs here. Come on up. they're falling apart already. They're that, I mean, you can see it. They are that tender. So, that's our ribs. And go ahead and put barbecue sauce all over these. Now, for this rub specific, I make my own barbecue sauce for many things. Well, not many things, but for beef ribs anyway. But for this particular rub, I like Sweet Baby Ray's in combination with this rub. So that's what you're going to see tonight. I like my ribs saucy. Of course, we can always have sauce at the table too. Okay, I'm just going to flip those. I can do the other side. Because I'm not doing these under the broiler, I'm going to do them just in the oven at 500, so it'll heat up both sides. Because it's indirect heat rather than direct heat. I'm not sure that's true. It's certainly not like a broiler. How about that? Whoops. Shoot. Alright, that one's ready. I'm going to do the same thing. You can't see it over here. Maybe you can. But I made a chicken thigh for my wife. She doesn't like barbecued ribs, but she will eat barbecued chicken. So, we're going to do a similar thing with this guy. Okay. So these are going to go into the oven for, I'm guessing, about 5 minutes. Maybe a couple more than that, but shouldn't need too long. It's very hot. And all we're trying to do is make sure that that barbecue sauce is cooked a little bit and not just raw on there. Not that it matters, you can eat it raw, but in my opinion, it tastes better when it's cooked down a little bit. Alright, so we'll pull that out in a few minutes, and we'll be ready to eat. Okay, it's been 5 minutes since I put this in. So, I'm going to take it out. Ow! Hey, that is hot. I'm going to get that chicken out too. Okay. Turn off my oven. Alright. So there you go. Barbecued ribs. Dinner!
If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. Subscribe to the Sandi Cooks channel so you don't miss out on new recipes.